All right, we're starting now.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm really good, actually.
Me and Lewis argue every time we do the podcast before.
Yeah, just...
Every time.
What were we arguing about then? I've honestly already forgotten.
You lost your charging cable, and you just, as soon as you realised you'd lost it, just started being grumpy with me and off with me like I'd done something. So I was like, look, I don't touch that cable. I don't have it.
You do, though.
Please, why do I?
Okay, no, go on.
Oh, anyway. And I was like, why would I have it, right? Why?
Yeah.
I know it's either on your desk or you've put it somewhere. It's nothing to do with me. And you were like, yeah, no, that I know. And I was like, well, the atmosphere's changed. It's instantly my fault.
The way that what actually happens is that, like, I was hoping that we were going to get here and I'd left it on my desk, which I had.
Which you had.
But, and there's something to be said about this, but I know it sounds ridiculous and it's not fair, right? But the way that you have treated my possessions over the last 3 years makes me think that when I can't find anything now, you've just shoved it somewhere.
Wow. Okay, let me just rephrase this.
Is that gaslighting?
No. What I was going to say was, what he means is by treating my possessions, he means tidying up, because Lewis... No, let me speak. That noise. Lewis leaves stuff everywhere, so I put things away, right? He's like, I can't find any of my things. You should start tidying up then. That's all I have to say, and we're moving on. Mic drop.
All right. Okay, I'll let you have it. Make sure that's still plugged in.
Is everything okay still?
I think so.
So anyway, we were arguing about Lewis losing things. It's so boring. But does anybody else have those arguments where it's like a habit that you fall into being annoyed with me when you've lost something?
Yeah, no, that's my point.
To do with me.
Well, it is, because I've learned to be annoyed with you when I lose stuff, because it's always you.
Learned behaviour.
Yeah.
Just take a sip of my peppermint tea before I smack you.
But anyway, the charger was here. I was hoping it would be.
Yeah.
And it is. So.
And now we can have a nice positive podcast, because we've got so much to talk about, and I'm so excited.
Right.
So let's not start this on a bad note.
No, I mean, I feel great.
Great.
Do you know we always have the thing where, like, I'm grumpy and annoyed. Mm-hmm. You try really hard to make everything fine. We fall into a bad funk, and then I decide that I'm over it. Totally
fine, and I'm left with the hangover of you being nasty.
Yeah, then I'd be nice, and you're like, upset. I
thought we were fine, and I'm like, well, you've just like made my last hour so shit.
Yeah, I just snap out of things. Maybe you should learn to do that too.
Just gonna get my phone.
Can you check that that's still recording as well?
Yeah.
Bro.
My chair's just spinning because I've just disappeared. Okay. We've got some updates before we start on all the exciting things to say.
Go for it.
It's all about you.
Is it?
You've got no hair and you've got hand tattoos.
Oh yeah, that's
so
two important things.
If anyone cares about that, we should talk about that. You've shaved all your hair off. I think you look gorgeous.
Thanks, dude. It's a very split decision kind of vibe.
We love a split decision, me and you.
We were just talking about hair.
Cut all my hair off, and it's like, yeah.
So I just went home and did it. So yeah, that happened, and then good friend of mine, Jack Caldwell, great tattooer, based in Newcastle now.
You want to give them a visual for everybody watching on YouTube? Have we also put this on Apple Podcasts?
Yeah.
Great.
You can get this on Apple Pod now, which you probably listened to it already if you like that.
I didn't even know that. Thanks for doing that.
Welcome. And check out Jack Caldwell on Insta. Guy. Good tattoos.
He's a cool guy and he has such cool cars. He's like, I just think people that have cool cars, it's such a good trait. He's got like old cool cars.
Yeah, it's a cool trait. Totally have to be like carefree to some extent, don't you?
Yeah.
That happened. What else happened? You put out a story.
I did
for one of the first times ever, which is wicked.
Thank you.
And We got loads of questions.
Yeah. So I also just want. I kind of want to just jump straight into them.
Do you?
What do you think?
Yeah. Let's do an episode of questions because we can get through like 3 or 4 now, and then we've still got 2 or 3 more podcasts worth.
For sure. We've also started making a list of other guests that we want to have.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was so nice having Emily on, and I want to keep having our cool, interesting friends who are doing cool stuff.
Yeah. She was like a breath of fresh air to have on the pod, and also like I appreciate how she thinks and feels about stuff.
Same. So the relationship questions and the questions. I wanted to hear her opinion.
So like anyone who has any thoughts of people that they would like to see on the podcast would be up for that.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Stick it in the box.
Stick it in the box if you know that we know them. I only really want to do our mates at this point.
Yeah, I guess we can't really interview people we don't know, do we?
That's like in the future. I feel like this is still we're still building this, so it's like
still got to be like people that we already have a relationship with.
Yeah.
But there are lots of interesting people around here, so.
Do you have anything else you want to share before?
I also want to say, I really want to start like pushing this more, the podcast.
Yeah.
And like, can everyone just like start sharing this more?
Yeah.
Because like we don't really do any like,
but we don't ask people to.
Yeah, we don't do anything beggy.
So I think this should be a cut down reel.
Okay.
And it should be like, if this is on your friend's story,
follow us
and listen to our podcast.
Yeah,
if
listen
you want
to our
to.
podcast.
You really don't have to.
Yeah, but if you like chilled, sexy dudes talking about
gossiping about other people's problems.
Gossiping about other people's problems and talking about relationships and
talking about us arguing, because it's quite refreshing hearing about other people arguing. Quite like doing that.
And like
people building their own businesses, quite interesting.
Yeah.
We're trying to back ourselves. Are you still in a bad mood? Or?
No, I'm great.
Okay.
I'm great.
Follow us.
Yes. So that was the thing.
The cut down.
Yeah, do it if you think you're cool.
Also, sorry, so many things. I've been getting. Why are you doing that, loads? It's really
I've got
gross.
something in my.
Well,
I'm just like. Bit
I know
bunged up.
I know, but no one wants to hear that.
When I was a small child, I had a tick that was like that.
I know.
She used to do that.
Lewis was a very nervous young man, wasn't you? Okay,
Absolutely.
Should we like pause so you can cough and splutter? Would you like a sip of my tea?
No, I've got my special Diet Coke. All right, carry on.
I was just going to say that I've been getting on my She Paints account loads of lovely messages from people saying they love our podcast, and someone messaged the other day, both of us, was it? Saying that it was their favourite podcast they listened to. Do you remember? I don't think we should even say people's names on here, but like, thank you to you for saying that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
Did we answer their question? I can't remember what they said.
I think it was maybe a YouTube comment.
No, it wasn't.
Cool.
Oh, I think it was someone buying something from me, and then they said, I also love your podcast, it's my favourite.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think so, I can't remember. Anyway, so thank you to everyone for saying that. Okay, first one is a very short question, which we never get. We always get long ones. So this is quite interesting, I think. Do you ever argue? Take it away.
Yep.
I'd love to talk about this. Thank you to whoever wrote that. Very short and sweet. I think this is a great question because we should probably do a refresh because we spoke about us arguing like last year.
Yeah, that's true, because we did that whole episode that was about me not doing any jobs.
Yeah, and that's changed.
Has changed, yeah. I made a really conscious effort to try and change that.
Yeah.
And like...
I feel you pull your weight more, and I'm really happy with it.
Sick. I'm glad.
When we first spoke about it, it was the peak of you not doing anything at home.
Yeah, and what that really boiled down to, just a refresher for anyone who doesn't know that, was that I was working 2 really
full-time
busy jobs. And I was doing absolutely nothing in the house.
Yeah.
And like deep down, I kind of just wanted it to be like, I do these jobs and you do your job and you do the housework. And that's just like how I wanted it to be.
I know.
And we had to just come to some sort of arrangement where I did start doing a bit of stuff in the house because it wasn't working for you. And it's like, for whatever reason, that is fair. Like you can...
For sure. And I think like... We also, don't get me wrong, I love when I'm cleaning up the house, I love you to just be out of my sight. I like to put my music on and do it. But it got to the point where I was just so bored of it that even if you did a tiny thing, it helped me out. We really struggled with that though. Like we argued about that for a year, probably. Don't you think?
Yeah. But also then since I quit my actual job and now I'm just self-employed.
I find it so much more balanced.
Yeah.
So
well, just because I've got time and headspace to do more stuff. So.
I do think it's quite funny though about us because we are such opposite people, like actually to our core, in terms of like we're very similar. Like people probably think we're quite similar because we have similar interests and we like all the same things and stuff like that. But practically in our brains, we are polar opposites. So I am like quick, get it done, shove it in a drawer. Don't look at the instructions, break the blind when I'm trying to put it up. Like in terms of our mundane day-to-day life, we couldn't be on different pages anymore. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So that causes a lot of arguments, I think. Like frustrating things where like you can't, like we can't help it, but we get really cross with each other because we're on different spectrums.
Yeah. I'm in the autistic spectrum and you're on the dyslexic spectrum.
I just can't deal with anything manual labour, practical. Like, how would you even describe it? Like,
it's just, it's like anything that requires a bit of patience, you're very, very bad at. And I wouldn't even say that I'm like great at it, but that's sort of what seems to be our main issue or the main thing that we argue about is that like I just like to attack things in a different way to you, and it's almost like you jump into the stuff that I would sit on and think about, and then you like hold off and can't make a decision on the stuff where I'm like, something needs to happen now, so just do something. For like sure. The hats. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
there's things that I stall on, but I'll tidy up everything else and everything will be fine. Like, I'm having a really nice day, and Lewis will be like, have you done that? And it's just like, it's because I have to make a decision, a practical decision, and I don't want to do it.
I think what it is actually is that we both deal with stress in different ways, like really different ways. I'll if something like needs to be done, I will definitely do it.
I know.
It's like I will definitely get it done. But the stuff that doesn't really matter and is going to cause me stress if I do it, but I can get away with not doing it, I will just never think about it.
I think we're the opposite.
Yeah.
I'll be like, you want to like get into bed and not think about it and watch telly and be like, that'll be fine. And I'm like, let's do it today, get it done, go and have a glass of wine, but I won't do the biggest job because I just can't be bothered. The other thing we argue about, sorry, they're all on top of my mind today, is the thing we always say on the podcast where, and we've had it recently with our friends, where you don't big things up like me and it makes me feel like I'm alone. Yeah. Which is really, I don't know if I'm explaining that very well. Like how we talk on this podcast, we've spoken about it before, like New York, like trips. Oh, it's the engagement has actually brought it up again because we've been meeting people and they've gone, oh my God, you're engaged. And I'm like, yeah, oh my God. And then you're like, yeah. And it's like, Lewis obviously is extremely excited and is in love with me, but we did it on this podcast when you were like, oh, I don't know if we're going to get married or something. And it's just like, no, like, what? Yeah. So we went to a party or something. I can't remember where we were. Oh, my God. It was at Pride. We haven't spoke about this, actually. You did it again.
Oh, okay.
Someone said, did he make the ring? And I said, yeah, he designed it and, like, drew it. And Lewis just went, I didn't make the ring. And it's like, okay, whoa. First of all, that's true, you didn't make it, but you've just heard that word and got a frown and gone, I haven't made the ring. It's like a very autistic, it's like,
do you know why I did that?
And then they've gone, oh, and I've gone, okay, but you did, like, babe.
Can I tell you why? Because there's always a reason why I do weird things like that. Yeah. It's because that girl that we were talking to makes jewelry, and I didn't want her to think I didn't want her to start a conversation with me about making rings.
You're like stressed.
So I was like, no, I didn't.
But then what happens is
I designed
you don't
it. We
say
have a friend
anything
who.
You just go, no, I didn't. And then you're silent. And then it's like, okay, well, now everyone's quiet. You're not saying anything else. You're not like giving any context.
Those girls that came over were like, to you anyway, were like, he doesn't say much, does he?
Yeah. Well, I know. But like, that's a prime example that you're just like, and then we'll walk away and you'll be like, oh yeah, like, and it's just like, just say it to them so I don't look like a nightmare.
Yeah.
So
well,
he
who's
did
the
it
nightmare?
twice.
One of us.
You did that, and then you did it again with another thing.
At your mum's house, at the back of your mum's garden.
Oh, in front of all my girls.
Yeah, that one was actually bad.
Was quite bad.
Really told off.
He was like, oh yeah, like in front of all my best friends. All my girls were sat in the garden, and he was like, yeah, and everyone's like, oh my God, so when are you going to get married? And Lewis goes, well, I don't know if we are actually. And it's just like, everyone was just like, what? And then it's like, even if we're not going to get married for 5 years, 10 years, don't sit in front of my best friends and say that. No one wants to hear that, you know?
I didn't know.
And then he was like, we spoke about that, haven't we, Rubes? Like, I just thought we'd be engaged for a while. And I was literally just like, just make it better. Just that no one wants to hear the boring intricacies of that. They just want you to say you're going to marry me.
I didn't get that vibe. Yeah. I didn't know. So
that's kind of like something we argue about quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're very sweet about it, and we work on it. Like, every time that happens, you do hear me out and you say like, didn't mean it to come across like that. Like, we're getting there, I think, you know?
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't think two people can be perfect for each other, can they?
Oh, no way.
Like, it's not like every single thing that we talk about, we think exactly the same about and we agree.
No.
But I will say, I have never met anyone who I feel as on the same page as I do with you.
Yeah.
By like.
And do you know what's so funny?
It completely has like blown me away how on the same page we are. But we do still argue.
Yeah, of course. I think we're soulmates for sure. But don't you think? Mm-hmm. But I do think all those things I've just complained about like him like not saying things to people. That's kind of why I love you, because you're so yourself.
Sure.
Like, Lewis will never say anything he doesn't mean, and he'll never just play along. You're very, very authentic with everything you say.
Thanks. I'd like to take that a step further and say that I'm not like argumentative about things I don't believe. I just like won't indulge in something that I think is wrong.
It's like when you first met Hen, shout out Hen, one of my best friends. He was like, oh, do you like Star Wars?
Oh no, it was Frank.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but anyway,
Hen was sat there too. I thought it was Hen.
Sure.
Frank
maybe
was
it
like,
was.
oh, do you like Star Wars? And it's like the first time Lewis has met them, and I've known them for years. And Lewis was like, nah, I really don't rate it. And they were both like, yeah, fair, okay. Like, conversation's over. But
I have nothing to say about Star Wars though. Like, I really
cool
can't.
You didn't just play along and be like, oh, it's all right. Yeah, what do you think? Like, you were just like, no, I think it's weird. And then they were like, you're very
I don't like sci-fi
true to yourself.
at all. Yeah, that's true. I'm going to check if we're still recording.
Okay, yeah, cool. Right. Shall we move on?
Move on.
But I feel like I've listed loads of things and you haven't.
No, we're good.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
you have nothing else to say? Okay.
Nah, hit it. I want to go next. Oh, these trousers are so going to rip in just a second.
Are you sorry, I've taken your chair.
I know, I don't like this chair at all.
I love sitting on this chair. It's
Do you?
Yeah.
Fair. All right, go on then.
Okay. My other half has a tattoo of their ex's name. We've been together quite a while, and for context, it's the only tattoo they have. I don't want to tell them to get it removed as it's their body, but I don't really like it either. What are your thoughts, and what would you do? Oh God! Do you want to speak as the tattooed person?
Yeah. So I've got loads of tattoos, and you've got none.
Yeah.
If the only tattoo you had was your ex's name, I would find that quite jarring, I think.
100% the same.
And it's like...
Not to make this worse, sorry.
What do you mean?
Just like to the person that's written in.
Oh, right. Yeah. No.
This is just how we personally feel about it.
Yeah, of course. No, my point really was like, I think that's kind of fair to be jarred by that. And also, like, have you spoke about it? If it's like unsaid, then that's crazy. Like, you got to say something.
Wait, have they? I can't remember what they said. Sorry, let me just. I don't want to tell them to get it removed. No. So if, you know, as Lewis said, if you had loads of tattoos and it was just amongst them all, it's way less obvious, it's way less in your day-to-day, it's way less in your eye line every day. So I totally get how you feel. I'm very on the fence of like, I think I've said this before, like, I don't want, unless it was a abusive, terrible relationship, I don't like the vibe where people like delete all the photos of their ex on Instagram and like you can never say their name and like pretend they never existed, because I love personally talking about your exes and I think it's interesting and it was a part of your life, and like I'm very on the fence of like, that was their story and they were meant to be with all those people and now they're with you and that's great. And like, I don't like it when people like, oh, don't mention thingy's name. It's just like, well, they were your partner once and like blah blah. But saying that, I feel like if you did say to your partner like, this is something that makes me feel uncomfortable, in like a really mature way, even though you know that they were with them and that's not, it's literally just like seeing their name on their body every day is a bit tough. I think that's so fair.
I think it's really fair, yeah. I think you're well within your right to say.
It's just about how you say it, though.
That feels a bit jarring.
Don't you think? Because if you were like, say I said to you, like, that fucks me off. Like when say you get in from a night out and you're like, that annoys me. It's like, whoa, you got to really pick your place. Because they could easily say, it was a memory of my life. It was one of my memories and it's like, it's on my body. Like, what do you want me to do? Get it removed?
Yeah, but it's so easy to get stuff removed these days. Like, why wouldn't you? But like,
I think it might even just be about you saying. I don't even know if maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
maybe
do you know what
you need to do is get it off your chest, and then he'll be like, "Oh yeah, but like."
Might not be a he.
Sorry, I've just said he because of you. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know if it goes as far as that. You know, sometimes you think something's a big deal because you've not said it, and then as soon as you say it, and they're like, "Oh, but I love you," and like this was just I don't even notice it, and then you might just be like, "Oh, whatever."
Yeah, that's so true. It might just need a bit of reassurance.
I don't think it's a red flag though.
No, I don't either. I think like personally, that's the kind of thing that if I had a tattoo on me that I just didn't think about anymore, I could just crack on with my life and not be bothered about it.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I don't have them, so I don't know.
Yeah. I think though, like, let's just run this, as we don't know the situation, let's just run it as if they have said something and they said they don't want to get it removed. Like, how do you feel about that?
I think it depends what your relationship's like. I have no idea what your relationship's like. If this is one thing of many that they're clinging on to and they feel like it's a part of them, your feelings are more important than a tattoo, I think.
Yeah, and also your feelings should be more important than their feelings about their ex.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you have a hat that you always wear that your ex bought you and I hate looking at it every day. They should just be like, fuck the hat, love you, let's just move on, whatever. It's not important compared to how your partner feels, but we don't know your situation. Maybe this is like one of 5 things that you keep noticing, or like maybe there are photos around the hat. Like it does, you just don't know, do you?
Yeah.
I think my advice would be talk about it. As always, but maybe look inwards about where you feel in your relationship. Do you trust them? Is this just something that's like a knock-on effect? Like, why are you thinking about this so much? You know, like,
yeah, that's fair.
If they're your person and you feel like they're good for you and they're your soulmate, like, does it matter if it says their name on the back of their leg? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Agreed.
Should we leave that there?
Let's leave it there. Next.
Okay.
Guys, please share this with your mates.
We're rating doing this podcast now.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And I would love for more people to listen, because the people who do listen at the moment seem to really enjoy it.
I know, it's so nice.
I've never had this much positive feedback about any work that I've ever done. This is like the most positive thing that I've ever done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
I'm getting the most actual external validation from doing this out of anything I've ever done in my whole life.
People are so nice.
Yeah. So it's like, let's push it. Maybe this is the fucking...
Maybe this is what we're meant to be doing.
Yeah, come on. so like, let's just
arguing
let's
with
share
a
it
mic.
around. Let's share it around. I would love for more people to hear.
Me too. Okay. Okay. I've been lately having a lot of stress of not ever being in a relationship, even though I haven't been actively searching for it, going on dates, etc. And was wondering, do you guys have any encouraging words for someone who is still a total newbie to the dating life and feels inadequate and somehow ashamed of not having the experience that everyone else already has at this age? I just turned 25. Thanks already in advance, and have to say, oh, this is the person I was talking about.
Oh, really?
Have to say, this podcast has been an absolute favourite podcast I've ever listened to, Hugs.
Oh, sick.
So we must have glanced over this because that's the person I was talking about.
Ah, cool.
Okay.
So what is it? 25, new to
You're only
dating.
25.
Yeah.
Never been in a relationship before. You want to take us away?
I mean, I think it's a vibe, honestly. Well, I mean...
I wouldn't have had so much trauma in my life.
Oh, completely. Yeah, that's such a vibe. You must know so much more about yourself.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Than I do.
Same. I was trying to pretend to be like 5 other people when I was with all those people. It doesn't necessarily mean you've missed out on like this thing that we're all meant to have done, and like you don't know who you are. It's like as you just said, like you've gone on a different journey, but like you're only 25.
Yeah.
Like if you were 45 writing in, it would be like, okay, like, but still, even then,
yeah.
I think it's like I almost think it's like a cool thing that you've not just gone out with people for the sake of it.
Oh mate, same.
Because that's what I did.
I really do.
No offense, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, that is a vibe. Mm-hmm. I really respect it.
Same.
For whatever reason, it's like, for whatever reason that has happened.
Yeah, what are the circumstances?
Yeah, whatever the circumstances are, that's cool. And also, like, you can't change that. So that's
your story.
Yeah, that's your story. Everyone's got one. Let's move forward with it. And like that, you will have learnt so much stuff from that being how your life has been.
Yeah.
And like what you've encountered, and like the experiences that you've had, because everyone has their own, and they're on their own journey. And
just because you've not been with somebody else, like, people are with, as I've said, people are with people, and you just kind of not waste years, but you just like, you do this and you do that. You've done exactly what you want for the 25 years you've been alive, and that's really sick. The only thing I would say is, like, don't let people around you or like the world make you feel like who you're with now, because you're 25, has to be perfect. Because you're probably thinking, my mates have gone through a few frogs, maybe they've got their prince, like princess, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm like being all old fashioned saying prince, princess. Very like not 2023. I didn't mean to say that. But do you know what I mean?
But
like,
you're doing the whole like you have to kiss a few frogs to find the
be
prince,
with some
right?
people that aren't right. Like,
I think
I don't want that to be like, oh God, now I've got to be
got
with the right
find
person.
my husband or wife or whatever. But yeah, I think I was gonna say one thing that I wonder whether you would have had the experience to realise, having not like been in relationships with people, is that like people are fucking weird, and like people, like, there are millions and millions of people who are not right for you, and like a few that are. I think
for sure,
or like a few that you could make it work with.
And like now you're in a place where like, you can experiment with that if you want. And it doesn't have to be the second half of your 20s, you're in the right group of people. Because you could be dating for ages and Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Like, there's no pressure is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I agree. Can we just go back to what I just said?
Yeah.
Which is,
yeah.
Which was like, there's millions of people who are wrong for you and a few that are right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about me saying that?
What do you mean?
I didn't know whether that was going to be like
think that's
jarring.
True.
Okay, sick. Yeah, cool.
I don't think.
Cool.
I think it's really tough to find someone who is your I know we're like, you're my soulmate a minute ago, but it's like people are so complex and people change and people are weird and people aren't weird, and it's like it's really tough. And I think it's not normal to like have a perfect partner at 25. Like that's that's quite unusual. And I don't know what relationships you have around you in life, but and whatever your perception is on that, but like I think you're right. It's a whole roller coaster that you've probably just saved yourself quite a lot of, you know.
I would hope that if you've had 10 years of extra learning about yourself
being
as a single person than most people have at 25, then you would be more likely to not try and change for someone.
For sure.
And like probably be more clued up on like the kind of person that you could spend your time with and who you like. So like they were kind of asking for like dating advice, and actually I think it's so much there's like we've been much broader than that.
Yeah, sorry,
but
we
like,
went quite deep.
Yeah, but my point is like you don't really need dating advice. It's like you at this point I would imagine are like, just do you.
For sure.
Like you know so much about yourself. I imagine.
Yeah.
So like just do you, and if someone loves you for you, then that's what it is.
And dating is like oh God, it's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. We could actually get into dating.
But like going on what you just said, like this whole thing about you not having a relationship, like, and you're 25, it's like that's not your story. Like that doesn't need to be like your opening line. Like you're way more than that. Do you know what I mean? Like so when you go on dates, like be honest, and if they are, you know, if that comes up, it's like you haven't been in a like big relationship yet or whatever the situation is, but like that's not something that like to be ashamed of or to like hide from the other person. It's
not like you're the person who is going on a date who has never been on a date before.
That's not your like catchphrase.
It's like yeah.
You're more than
you're
that.
so much more than that.
Yeah.
In fact, that's such a tiny part of what it is.
And also like it's so funny because 25 is young, right? We're young. You're 30. We're young in our life.
Everyone.
You're old. No, I'm joking. Like, and like more often than not, the relationships you have when you're young, apart from a few rare things, like I've got friends who have met when they're 16 and they're together and they'll probably be together forever, whatever. Like, they're not relationships where you really are you, right? When I had my first boyfriend, I wasn't really me. I was just like pretending to be someone with a boyfriend. Like I didn't really know what was going on.
Like when I had my first girlfriend, I didn't know who I was anyway. So it's like, how can you be you? It's like it's so tough. You just morph into this person who has a girlfriend now.
But like in terms of dating now and your journey you're going to go on with it, totally agree with what Lewis said. Like just have fun and just be you. How can you even say someone be you? But it's like the world is everyone's so complicated that back yourself. You're an amazing person for someone to spend their time with, and don't think into it too much. Like don't deep it. Don't analyze the person you're going to meet up for a drink with or whatever, because just do it as many times as you want and have fun. You know what I mean? It's like, I can imagine you being like, who I tell my friends I'm going to go on a date with now has to be cool and fit and all this stuff because it's my first ever one. It's like, let's pull it right down to just like, now you want to hang out with people, you know? Yeah.
Also, that's all dating is hanging out with people. If you start hanging out with someone and you don't like hang out with them, just don't. Just don't. You can just go home. Like literally, you can just go home.
You have to say be polite about going home, but Lou's like, just fucking go home.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I actually don't mean be rude. I just mean like totally.
Don't feel like you have to do anything you don't want to do.
You're like totally not obliged to like do anything that doesn't feel right. So just like...
But like the way they've written this question makes me think, I hope that you don't think that it is something to be like worried about, because you've written in quotations like everyone else already at this age has, and it's like, I hope that's not the narrative that's been fed you, because it can very easily be like, oh, you've not had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, like, oh, okay, like why? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you've been doing all the stuff, who cares?
Yeah.
So I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, sick. I'm actually really gassed for you.
Same, I am too.
Keep us in the loop with...
Don't stress about it.
Yeah, don't stress about it, and let us know how the dates go.
Please let us know.
Yeah,
we can help. We can give you advice. I love going on dates.
Do you?
I used to love dating.
Yeah.
Did you do like dating? You wouldn't really like... We spoke about this before. I used to like go for dinner with people and go for drinks.
Yeah,
and Lewis was like...
No, I never did that. I was like jumping straight into relationships for like 10 years.
One after another.
And then I did some dating, and then I met you.
Next thing you know...
Now I'm fucking engaged.
Which
is so cool.
So boring.
How sick.
How long have we been talking for?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we hold fire. We've done 37 minutes.
Oh my God,
I reckon.
What? There's more to say. But okay.
Yeah, let's hold on to him.
Do you feel? I
so
feel like
many now.
You're feeling better than when we started the podcast.
I agree. Look, I've got an ambient smile.
I know, my sweet man. God. Thanks for listening, everyone. I love doing this podcast, and it's Friday, so I hope everyone has a really fun Friday night.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do tonight?
I've got no idea.
Me either.
Nice. That's fun.
We can think about it.
Eat loads if you want.
Yeah, it's takeaway maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
It's hard.
What's the time? 3:00.
Is it?
Yeah.
We need to go and pick up the light. Sorry, this is getting boring now.
Shit. Yeah, we gotta go to.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Bye. Mwah.